Cowboy Jim, thank you for tuning in. I just heard, not but a little bit ago, a Fox News reporter asked the wonderful lady who reports from the Pentagon, and she was asked in this question. Do you think that Biden has been as forthright as he could have been in terms of timely assistance to the Ukraine? And for the first time in my memory, I heard a Fox News reporter really skirt the answer. And I suppose as a reporter, her ability to be accepted at the Pentagon and to represent in a little better light what the U.S. government has been doing in terms of their shirking their responsibilities. I understand the concept totally. I believe I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand Biden, the Democratic Party in the U.S., wishing to try to avoid prompting Putin to do anything that could lead to a third world war. Well, he's done everything that could lead to a third world war. Olinsky, that president of the Ukraine, is, well, he is a legend. He is building his history and the history of the Ukrainian people as we watch. And has Biden done everything that he could to support the Ukrainian people? Not bloody likely. Not even remotely close. And the reason for that is Biden has an agenda. The Democratic Party in the United States of America has an agenda. And that is to pretend to help the Ukraine, but not really. They are giving armament now to the Ukraine. And because they are so late, the Ukrainian people, Olinsky, was asking for embargoes against Russian oil, against their banking system, against everything that they could possibly think of that would cause Putin to realize the world will not put up with what he is doing. And the U.S. held off and held off until 2 weeks ago, after after Putin, who in his history, in his reputation, the fulfillment of his desire to restore the USSR to its former significance. And then Biden sent armament that would knock the planes and choppers out of the air, but they did not do it in a timely manner. And history will record that. And yes, there are those in the States who rewrite history to accommodate their political stance. They look through glasses. There's a country song, the rose-colored glasses. Look through rose-colored glasses, and they will rewrite history. And they will try everything in their power to let Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and people like that who, as I said earlier in a video, I hope there's a special place in hell for those people. I truly do. Like any and everyone, no matter what you have done ever, can be at peace with God merely by asking God to forgive you and accepting the fact that Jesus is the Son of the living God. This is way beyond religion and way beyond denominationalism and all that stuff. But I was pretty disappointed in Fox News today. If Trump heard that, and I'm sure he did, because he is tuned in to what is going on, because he did everything in his power to stand in the way of the Democrats doing what they're doing now, pretending to help and yet choosing their own agenda to get their little peace treaty signed with Iran. And proof of that is Putin has representatives sitting right at that table when the U.S., through some idiot like John Kerry or something like that, is trying to put together a peace agreement, a peace accord that will never withstand Putin's intent, nor the Iranian people. And Obama sent them $150 billion of physical cash in a couple of planes while he was in power in order to buy their acquiescence, in order to put a stupid agreement in place that Iran never intended to maintain and hasn't even allowed true inspections, independent inspections by people from the U.S. So you might say, well, how can it be independent? Well, it's independent in this. They are hoping like crazy that Iran lives up to their nuclear agreement, because then the Democrats, which are liberals in the states, Biden, Pelosi, Lion Schiff, I think his name is, they want to maintain Obama's legacy of stupidity. And they're doing everything in their power in order to do it. They want it to appear that the U.S. is doing what they should do in terms of honor, of supporting the mothers, like Olena Ganez and Olinsky. I mean, but it's not true. It is not true that the U.S. are helping as much as they could. It's not. A phone call by Biden would turn loose fighter jets from Poland, MiG fighter jets. And now Putin is saying if a fighter jet takes off from a country outside of the Ukraine, he is going to count it as an act of war. And the reason he can say that is because he's tried to kill every bloody airport in the Ukraine. And so if you're fighting a war and your children are dying in the streets, you kind of tend to say, come a what a may, I am going to defend my family, my people, my land. Democrats in the states don't understand that. They don't have a bloody clue, because they aren't defending their land. The borders are open. The Democrats are flooding the electorate with South American, Afghan, people from the Middle East, bringing their hate for the U.S. right up over an open border. Don't be hard on the border guards. They're doing everything they can, but their hands are tied by the Democratic Party, who won't prosecute, but merely turn the illegal immigrants loose and say, come back in a year and we'll have a court case for you. And those same politicians know that those people will never show up, but they will vote for the Democrats, because the Democrats are the only hope for immigration, illegal immigration into the United States of America. So listen, Is Biden doing everything that he could to support the Ukraine? No, he's not. Does Biden and the Democratic Party have any intention of ever helping the Ukrainian people? No, they don't. They will send them a few missiles. Doesn't matter if it's 100. If those missiles were to have been sent 9 months ago when Olinsky was asking for them, when Biden, in his ignorance, arrogance, and intent, I think intent, because you can't be that stupid and not recognize 110 or 120,000 Russian troops on the border of the Ukraine 9 months ago. Okay? You think anyone in the world was surprised when Putin did finally invade? No. The joke was Xi Jinping asked him, please don't invade until after the Olympics are done. This is going to screw up my party. I don't mean political party. I don't mean the CCP. I mean his self-grandizement, being the great leader who put on, because he is so wealthy, on the backs of Wiggins, everyone. No. Did the U.S. do everything they could? No, they didn't. They did the minimum, the minimal. That's what they are, minimalists. They are people who pretend as politicians to do one thing and do another. And that place in hell, boy, I in many ways, I hope they don't seek God's forgiveness and don't truly repent, because of the children, the women and children in the Ukraine that are left dead on the streets because of the arrogance of politicians who say one thing, do 3 others. I hope you understand I'm a little upset right now. So this is probably my last video of the day, because I capacity out, and my Irish surfaces. And I want you to know, I hold the Democratic Party, except for Manchin and a little girl by the name of Sienna or Cinema or something. And Biden, Pelosi, Lion Schiff. The Liberal Party in Canada, too many members of Parliament who are Liberal. And the NDP, I hold them all in contempt. Pretend to help, and they do help, but not in a timely manner. If Biden wanted, he could turn those MiGs loose in Poland. One phone call. That's all. One phone call. I hope that useless person does that soon. I heard a hint on the news. I hope he already has done it. But Putin is not going to quit. Oh, no, he won't. Okay. Sorry, bit edgy. I'm Irish.